Why are we so rich in GDP terms and so ineffective at delivering good healthcare to all those who need it? How can it be that a person who has spent more than 10 years training to become a medical doctor and whose end of year results are measured in lives receives compensation that is meager compared to that of a trader or a hedge fund manager? The nations that reacted in the most inclusive manner are those with an elaborate welfare system, most notably the Scandinavian countries. An important topic that may have a decisive impact on the new social contract is sick leave. Economists tend to agree that the absence of paid sick leave makes it harder to contain the spread of an epidemic. The simple reason being that if employees are denied access to it, they may be tempted or forced to go to work while they are infected and thus spread the disease. When the swine flu H1N1 pandemic occurred in 2009-2010, the American Public Health Association estimated that around 7 million people were infected and an additional 1,500 died because contagious employees could not afford not to go to work. Among the rich economies, only the US has a system that leaves it at the discretion of employers to decide whether to provide paid sick leave. In 2019, almost a quarter of all US workers, about 40 million, largely concentrated in low-wage positions, did not benefit from it. In March 2020, when the pandemic started to rage in the US, the government signed into law new legislation that temporarily required employers to provide 2 weeks of sick leave plus family leave at partial pay, but only for workers with child care problems. By contrast, almost all European countries require employers to provide paid sick leave for varying periods during which workers are also protected from dismissal. In Japan, all workers are entitled to up to 20 days of paid leave every year, while in China they are entitled to sick pay that ranges from 60 to 100% of daily wages during any period of illness, with the length of sick leave contractually agreed or defined between workers and employers. As we move forward, we should expect such issues to intrude more and more in the redefinition of our social contract. As Henry Kissinger reminded us, the historic challenge for leaders is to manage the crisis while building the future. Failure could set the world on fire. Already, the millennials, at least in the Western world, are worse off than their parents in terms of earnings, assets, and wealth. They are less likely to own a home or have children than their parents were. As a college junior puts it, young people have a deep desire for radical change because we see the broken path ahead. Youth activism is increasing worldwide, being revolutionized by social media that increases mobilization to an extent that would have been impossible before. The young generation is firmly at the vanguard of social change. There is little doubt that it will be the catalyst for change and a source of critical momentum for the Great Reset.